Learning is a change in an organism's behaviour due to experience. Learning affects all areas of our lives, the ability to focus, our motivation, our beliefs, and what skills we acquire. Eric Kandel used sea slugs to study simple learning. He looked at the decreased behavioural response to a repeated stimulus, termed habitation. We see it in action when we tune out, or no longer hear the radio. Another simple learning is sensitization, where a response to a stimulus increases following exposure, such as avoiding spiders, even if they are not poisonous. This learning, termed associate learning, has allowed us to make associations between two different stimuli or events. Pavlov studied more complex learning with classical conditioning. Pavlov noticed that dogs naturally salivated or drooled when offered food. He found that learning occurs when two stimulus are repeatedly paired. The first response, elicited by the second stimulus, can be produced by the second over time. The experiment showed how learning could be acquired over several trials, terming it the acquisition phase. Classical conditioning can be applied across a number of areas in our life, such as fears, anxieties, sleep, and food. Operant or instrumental conditioning started with Thorndike and his law of effect. This law focused on the importance of the consequences of behaviour on learning. His studies involved a puzzle box and some unhappy cats. Through trial and error, a cat quickly learned to repeat a behaviour, pushing the lever, escape and get some food. Data suggested the cats showed no insight and did not link the lever with getting out of the box. Skinner thought the history of reinforcement and punishment could explain all animal-human behaviour. Following Thorndike, Skinner used a Skinner box and some unfortunate rats to explore his ideas. He observed how reinforced or punished behaviours evolve over time and how some tasks are learned more quickly than others. Skinner saw two types of consequences: reinforcement, like a reward that strengthens a behavioural response, and punishment, like jail, that weakens rather than strengthens a behaviour. Either of these can be positive or negative, positive meaning adding a stimulus, with negative meaning removing a stimulus. This reduction of human behaviour to reinforcement to punishment is reductionist. It does not consider how people's thinking can affect learning. Other studies, such as Kohler's work with chimpanzees and later Tolman's rats in a maze, explored how not all learning could be explained through conditioning. Tolman's rats demonstrated how learning was not demonstrated until it was needed. It was called latent learning, latent meaning hidden or not manifested. The final model is observational learning by Bandura, where learning occurs by observing the behaviour of others, called modelling. Bandura found that people learn new behaviours by observing others. He looked at aggression modelling with children using a toy called a Bobo doll and laid the foundation for a social learning theory.